Welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for an excellent movie review. Justice League, the Snyder's Cut. Zack Snyder's version of Justice League. I can't say how excited I am right now. Got my Justice League shirt on. This will be changing throughout the night as I step in on every chapter and give you a little update. Quick backstory, funny story. I mean, if you've watched this channel at all before, probably not, but huge DC fan. Always loved DC Comics. Super Friends is what I grew up on, so this is so exciting. The first version of this I still liked. Wasn't great. They didn't do what Avengers does, but I'm really hoping this one rises to the top. 4 hours long, so quick, funny anecdote, funny story. I was all excited. Of course, everybody marks this date on their calendar, not everybody, but I did. March 18th, it's coming out. And as the date approaches, I'm like, wow, okay, perfect. 4-hour movie on a Friday. No work the next day. It's going to be perfect. And I'm at school. I'm at work, sitting there today. My uncle texts me and he says, "Who's going to watch Justice League tonight?" And I'm like, at like midnight when it comes out, thinking it's going to come out at midnight on Friday, and he's going to stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning. No, today's the 18th. I had no idea. I was like, oh no, I have work tomorrow. So, I've also talked about how great my wife is. We were going to do a beer review tonight. Scratch that. That'll be tomorrow. I am going to watch Justice League tonight. I don't need to tell you who's in it. Don't need to tell you what it's rated. You know what it's about. Let's get into it. Let's see the differences from the other one and see, hopefully, it's good enough that they start building off of this and start making some sequels. I'd love to see the Justice League versus the Legion of Doom, but cart before the horse. Let's get into it. Sorry for the long opening. Stick with me, though. I'll be back in different shirts. And if you're lucky, I'll wear a costume. All right, I'll be back. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in here. We're on Chapter 3. I don't know what happened. I saw Chapter 1. I saw the start of Chapter 1. And somehow I went into Chapter 2. And I missed when the screen pops up and says that. So, that's okay. The first 2 chapters is really, the development of the story. The development of each individual hero so much. I mean, we don't have a lot of development on Flash so far, or Cyborg. But more Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and of course, Batman. Superman is still, dead at this point. So, what I will say, and I'm going to just talk about it comparing to the original, is that it's the same concept. It's just in a different order, and there's also more to it. So, it's like more extended scenes, and then a different chronological order than we saw with the first one is really what we're getting right now. Still all the same, Bruce Wayne's got to go out and find all these heroes to help him fight, Darkseid or Steppenwolf, right? Well, I mean, they don't even know that yet. They're still learning. We just learned about the 3 boxes, the mother boxes and stuff like that. So they're still assembling the Justice League. And it's just taken a lot more time. I don't even know how far I am so far, but it doesn't say. One thing I will say, and I'll keep it short, I'm in Aquaman, is, and I don't know why, and if it's something I did wrong, but it's the shortened version. It's not a widescreen thing. And so I don't know why that is. I don't know if I messed that up or what's going on. So I'm going to figure it out. If I with the highest quality audio and video available on your device, I don't know. But that's me. I mean, maybe I did something wrong, but there you go. That's all I got. I'm going to get back to it here. I'll stop in at the beginning of Chapter 4 as long as I don't miss it and give you another quick update. Alright, I'll be back. Hey everybody, another check-in here. Part 4. Change Machine. I was going to tell you more about Chapter 3, but well, that's what it was. So Chapter 3 was something about mother and son, but I didn't catch the relevance between the title and the thing. But now I'll stay a little bit more focused. Anyway, that whole chapter was really more about the backstory of Flash and Cyborg. So the first one was, putting some pieces together, but that really focused on them, and it really gave you a better origin story for the two of them, which was neat. It introduces Iris in it a little bit there, so that's pretty cool. It shows some of the scenes that we saw previewed with Cyborg playing football and things like that, and really, again, gives you more information on how they came to be. Well, not so much how they came to be. I shouldn't say that. That's more on Cyborg's side. Flash is just more about who he is, not so much how he came to be. So anyway, but I thought I like it. It's great. It gives you a lot more information. Again, the story's told in a different chronological order, but it's all the same. Stephen was still trying to get the 3 boxes at this point. And Bruce Wayne is trying to assemble the team at this point. But and the last was just bringing those two in, or at least trying to get them in and finding out more about them. One thing I thought of was, as I think about the Snyder Cut and how, what would have happened if he was able to complete what he started, right? How really would it have looked? Because I'm not buying this is how it would have looked. There's no way I think he releases a 4-hour film. So, like that's starting to play in my mind. I'm happy with it so far. I'm glad it's done. There's nothing like that, but it's just making me think, like, what would have happened if he would have finished a film? How would have that turned out compared to what now? He not only gets to redo the film, he's increased the runtime of it up to at least 4 hours and 2 minutes. And he's also gotten feedback about how the last film went. So, a little, I wouldn't say unfair, but now that's coming to mind here. It's like, this is Snyder's cut, but not the original Snyder cut if he were to finish it. I know, a lot to think about. But, again, what we're seeing is just, more in-depth footage that was left on the cutting room floor has now been implemented into this. So far, so good. So, but I think that helps. I'm not going to say it but anymore, because it does. They didn't do what Marvel did, where they had the individual Iron Man, Captain America movies to develop these characters. They brought them all in here in the big screen, for the most part. So they're doing that in this film, and I think hopefully that works. I hope. Anyway, works for me. I'll back into it. Oh, I wore Flash because of the, I forgot I switched. This glows in the dark. Because of the scene where, like, Iris is there, and they're starting to develop him a little bit more, and you're seeing more of his backstory. And I don't have a Cyborg shirt, so. Alright, I'm getting back into it. I'll be back. Hey everybody, we're at part 5. Was I saying chapters before? I don't know. It seems like I was. But anyway, we're on the 5th part. All the King's Horses. So that's what's going to happen here. So we don't know what that one's about. But the last chapter was the scene basically where they go and save all the people who were kidnapped, including Victor's father. If you remember that. Again, this is talking... I'll say this in the beginning, but I'm not spoiling it. You should have watched the other one first before you watch this one. But it's really that whole scene where they go in and they rescue all the people who were taken by Steppenwolf as he tries to find the 3rd box. And the wall crawler or whatever that was there, and all that kind of stuff. So that's really what the whole scene is basically about. But they also expand a little bit more on the mother box, and they tell you more about it, and which is great. I think it adds a lot more to the movie. I will say that, and again, a little bit more on Cyborg. One thing that I as they're all talking, they talk as though they know each other a lot better than they do. Although they're really trying to develop this a little bit more, and I can't knock it too much, but they do kind of, like, the relationship development isn't there. The development of all the characters, but the actual relationship, I don't think is really there. They've done one thing so far, and now they're, interacting there. But still, no Superman. That's why I put the Batman shirt on. I haven't had a chance to do that, so I'm on the Batman. And I thought there was one other thing I wanted to mention, but I lost it. So we'll get into it here. If I think about it, I'll check back in real quick. But we're on to part 5, so stick around. Okay, real quick, I realized what it was. Might be my favorite part happens in part 4. So that's all I'm going to say there. I've heard rumors, and this I can't talk about that because it would be a spoiler, because it's different than the first one. And you know, I liked it. I was pretty excited about it, and so that's all I can give you. I can't give you any more because I'm sure you probably have an inkling about it if you're a big fan. But I tried to stay away from all that kind of stuff. But this one was pretty exciting. So we'll see what happens from it. All right, that's it. I'm going now. Now I'm going to part 5. That's what I wanted to tell you. I'll be back. Hey everybody, time for a quick check-in here. We're on part 6, Something Darker. It's coming up, but the previous part 5 was all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Is about putting Superman back together again. So I put on my Superman shirt, and you know, I know it's probably like I sound like a broken record, but really, it's the same kind of movie. Told in a little bit different order, but they're just adding more pieces to it that just makes it much more entertaining. You know, it's like seeing it for a whole new time. You know, so it's the whole series on him. You know, them waking him up, using the box, that kind of stuff that we saw in the first one, and then him reacting like not knowing who he is and just going after people. But this fight scene seems so much better this time. I think. I haven't watched the last one in a little bit, but it really felt like this one was different than the other one and a lot better. That's just my thought on all of it. But that's where we are. That was the whole part there. And I mean the same kind of thing with him and Lois, whatever, but they played it off differently than they did in the first one. So we'll see where it goes from here. I don't know what Something Darker means, but I can guarantee that it's going to be very similar, but better than the first time we saw it. So I don't know how many parts there are. Oh, real quick, one thing I forgot to tell you. I figured out why 4:3. If you're still with me, thank you. Why it's in 4:3 instead of widescreen. Evidently, when Zack Snyder made it, he wanted to stay true to what he was making it for, and I think it was IMAX, and it should be shown in 4:3. So he kept it like that. And to be honest with you, after a while, you don't even realize it. Now, of course, I'm going to think about it as I go back to it. So will you. But you get lost in it and start enjoying it, so it doesn't really bother me. All right, I'm going to get back to it. See you in a little bit. Hey everybody, right now we're at the epilogue, A Father Twice Over. So it looks like we're almost to the end here. The last piece, whatever number that was, I forget. This is long. The darker side, I guess, dark side or something like that, obviously has involvement, and it's the battle against Steppenwolf. And it changed a lot of the same stuff, but there's no family or anything like that. I think that was a big thing in the first one. That one's not in this one. But all in all, it's just trying to get the boxes separated and defeat Steppenwolf. And there's some differences there. And as we know from the first one, how Superman comes. You know, and again, a couple of little things here and there. But nothing major, I would say, that happened in that one. Now, there are a couple of things that I guess I'll wait until the epilogue plays out, and I'll tell you at the end, because there's some things that are missing for me that doesn't make sense. So let me finish this out and see you at the credits. I'll be right back. Hey everybody, we're at the end. Credits have already rolled, so I'll save it for you. If you haven't seen it, don't wait and watch all the credits. There's a pre-credit scene. Watch that. Then you're done. You don't have to watch the credits because I just did to see if there's anything additional. But, you know what I've said about the entire movie. The epilogue piece is really cool. I like it. It's different than the whole first one. It's so much better, and I don't know how they don't do a second one. You've set it up so nicely. Now, one of the things that I thought was missing, that we've seen advertised, was this dream sequence. There was another one, but this one, was the one that we saw in the first one with some add-ons. I don't want to spoil it for you if you don't know what I'm talking about, but there was a dream sequence in the first one where the world was in ruins, that kind of thing. They expand upon that, but they don't do it until late. I thought that was not going to be in here. That throws some monkey wrenches into what I think could happen in the sequel. But, the ending in the first one with Luther on the yacht, I think that sets it up really nice. And then there's another piece that comes in at the end that I had talked about within part 4, I think. So, I really hope that they go forward with this. There is one other thing that I will say. If anybody's still with me, thank you. The lasso piece is not in this one. When Aquaman sits on the lasso, I enjoyed that. I get it. They cut out a lot of the jokes. They didn't make Flash seem very weak, I thought, like they did in the first one. He's still clumsy and funny and a kid, but it didn't make him seem weak, and so I thought that was good. And there was one other thing they didn't do, I can't remember, but I know I've spoken a lot. But the lasso thing I was hoping for. And then, I'll just throw this out there. There was an original 7. For those of you who know that, they're just one short. If they could have, not to spoil anything for you, but if you're with me this far, I appreciate it. But that's one thing I was hoping for. One more shirt. All right, that's it. I loved it. I hope they continue to build on it, and I hope everybody else loves this and they go out and say, what a great. Now let's keep going with it. Let's not let this die, because they started something here and they got it right. Sure, it took them twice, but all right, that's it. I'm just gonna let you go. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.